Welcome to Liverpool of the 70s. Toshak, Keegan, Highway, Dalglish, Shankly and Paisley. Well, what more can I say about a team that dominated for a whole decade? Division 1 champions 4 times, winners of 2 European Cups, 2 UEFA Cups, the FA Cup, and to cap that, the Super Cup in 1977 as well. Let's just look at the style that was envied all over the world.
Steve Highway to Callahan. Chance for a shot. Maguire. Carr. Catlin. Hunt. Lee Carr again. Graham. Nobody in the middle. Good break by Graham, but there was nobody there to capitalise. Carr was coming in. So plenty of men forward now, including Jeff Blockley, the number 5. It's played back to Catlin. And that was Hunt's header against the post. Touched by the fingertips of Ray Clements. But the marking was not tight then. Liverpool, a lot of men back, but not all of them taking responsibility for individual forwards. Carr's corner is a good one again, and Blockley got ahead to it. And from the way Clements is placing the ball, and from the signal given by the linesman, it looks as though he penalised Blockley, presumably for riding on someone's shoulders as he went up for the header. So 20 minutes of this game gone without a goal, but a bit more life and promise in it lately as Keegan comes in, number 1! Kevin Keegan made that look a lot easier than it was. It was a big sprint for him. Just watch as the long ball comes through, and he's got a big run with a man coming in on him, and he made no mistake at all. Toshak's clearance, and well controlled it was too, and it allows Callahan to play a beautiful ball out to Hall. He's got to come inside or play it back for Lawler. Lawler has now gone through. Beautiful play, beautiful. Oh, that was lovely football by Chris Lawler and by Brian Hall and by Callahan. Toshak being held down by Blockley. The little arm hooked over his shoulder. Smith. For Callahan, and an extraordinary save by Glazier. Half with his body, half with his forearms. It wasn't really a punch. Chris Catlin to take the free kick. For Blockley's head. Stuck in the mud, and Lawler had to scoop it away. Played back to Maguire. Machin, nicely angled ball for Mortimer. That's off for a corner. Only the 3rd corner that Coventry have had. Just coming into that picture is the looming figure of Jeff Blockley. The 3 there is Ernie Machin. 9 is Machin, 3 is Ernie Hunt. Carr jumping and touched in by Hunt. The equaliser from Ernie Hunt, like a bolt from the blue for Liverpool. They really are not accustomed to giving away goals like that. Smith. Blockley. Highway for Keegan. Toshak is free in the middle, and that'll be a penalty. Mr. Hackney won't hear of the protest. It was a very clear penalty. Lockley can only be trying to suggest that Keegan took a dive. But Tommy Smith, who has scored from 4 penalties this season, now takes what is probably the most important of them all. Breath held collectively in the massed ranks of the Kop. And there it is. Glazier sent the wrong way. Three-quarters of the game gone. Tommy Smith, the scorer, his 6th goal of the season. Got away by Smith. Callahan. Keegan letting it run on for Toshak. It's in, and it's allowed. Nothing now will stop Liverpool from taking over the leadership, at least for a couple of hours. Callahan with this ball, and there's a beautiful little deception there by Keegan that sets it up for Toshak. He finds the corner. That's his 10th goal of the season.
Great to watch. As we move on a season, the visitors are Chelsea, and the hairstyles are much the same, inspired by another Liverpool institution, the Beatles. It's a bit misty at Anfield.
Webb's head up. Chelsea's, Liverpool's throw-in. Keegan getting away from Locke. The second time that Locke has brought him down in that position, and Mr. Burns is reaching for his book. Twice Keegan has outsmarted the young fullback, and now Locke pays the penalty for bringing his man down twice in succession. Webb again. Smith. No foul given. Misdirected headers from both sides, and here's Keegan as Webb misses his kick, gives it to Toshak, and Toshak puts it in. A mistake by Webb, and a most unselfish pass by Keegan. Now Highway has room for a centre. Headed away by Garland, but here's Callaghan. Good save by Sherwood. That was real class. You can feel well pleased with that. And the fact that presumably it wouldn't have mattered whether it had gone in or not from where that free kick has been given is neither here nor there. Steve Sherwood did extraordinarily well. Harris. Lawler. Good break by Lawler. Pass intercepted by Webb. And here's Houseman. Keegan lucky to get that rebound off Webb. Toshak. Keegan! It starts here with a little exchange of headers. Keegan lucky to get it, but he then gives a good ball out to Toshak, and Toshak shows that he knows how to play across, and Keegan, of course, knows all about putting them away. And a very, very happy Liverpool supporter kissing the upright. Hughes header, Toshak, Callaghan. Keegan allowed to trot around unchallenged. Now Callaghan. Header by Harris with two Liverpool men there waiting. Smith, Lindsay. Smith taking it away from him and getting it out to Lindsay. And on out to Highway. Toshak's head again! They're really beginning to play with them now. Highway, Callaghan. Just couldn't fiddle it through, but he's been given it back, and now he's got it off to Lindsay. And Lindsay's shot is blocked, and it's kicked away for another corner, this time by Webb. But Sherwood did well to get his body in the way. So this is now corner number 15 for Liverpool, an indication of their territorial domination of this game. Again Lindsay, an easier one for Sherwood. Hughes, Highway to Callaghan. Kemba. Lindsay. Gary Locke. And Houseman thought about having a swing at that with his right foot, but he was a bit off balance. Locke. No doubt about that clearance from Lawler. No handball, referee signalling that it was high up on the shoulder. And that was a good effort there, and it's gone in eventually from Baldwin. Turned across goal by Garner. Garland couldn't make contact, and Baldwin gets one back for Chelsea. Starting from deep here with Hollins. Knocked across by Garner. Garland couldn't make contact, but Baldwin does, and that's 3-1. We've got just under a quarter of an hour to play.
So much for the King's Road and those dedicated followers of fashion. Now for the unfashionable boys from East Anglia.
Keegan, put out by Hunter. No, collected by Callaghan. Good turn and a good cross. Cormac. Hunter delaying his clearance. Thompson's shot. Toshak. Beaten away, Keegan! The pressure paid in the end. Liverpool just battering away, and finally Ipswich fall. The shot by Thompson, half blocked. The cross pushed out by Best and knocked back in by Keegan's diving header for his 4th goal of the season. Hunter, Thompson, Highway, Callaghan, Cormac for Keegan. Good shot against the post. Best knew nothing of that. Liverpool showing more zest in this opening quarter of an hour than in many matches this season. Hunter didn't make proper connection with that header. Mills. Late tackle by Highway. Hammond. Neat bit of play by Keegan, and Hammond obstructs him. Highway. Good cross for Keegan's head again. That really was a brilliant goal. Just watch as Highway breaks. He teases Hammond, but as the cross comes over, Keegan brave, getting the angle right as the defender comes in. Superb second goal for Keegan. Lloyd. Morris touching it out to Miller. Mills. Miller charged late by Callaghan. Acknowledges his error. Callaghan retreating 10 yards, Morris to take the free kick. Johnson on a run across the box, taking men out, and there's Johnson in! Beautiful header from David Johnson. 2-1, and Johnson gets a goal where he would probably most like to get one. Back on Merseyside. Morris's free kick. It's Wymark on the decoy run, and Johnson gets the header. Lindsay's cross. Toshak's header, caught by Best. Miller. Morris to Mills. Callaghan. Lawler. Emlyn Hughes. Miller to Morris. Morris to take the Ipswich free kick. Beattie has gone forward. That's aimed for his head. Hughes beat him to it, gets a second chance, and Thompson blocks it for Cormac. Highway outside him, Keegan in the middle, Toshak wide on the right. Highway has shown he can beat Hammond, and what there? Well, it's given outside the box. Cormac points to a spot about 2 yards inside. Mr. Reeves to a spot, Mr. Baldwin to a spot about 2 inches outside. For my money, I would have said it was a foot inside. So Keegan running over it, Lindsay's chipped, Toshak, and it's there! Peter Cormac gets number 3, And that's rough justice. The cross from Lindsay, Toshak was unmarked, and Cormac got a very good volley, and that's 3-1. Lloyd, Morris, Mills, Biljon, Beattie, Mills again, Miller, charged down by Thompson, Beattie, good cross, good header too, beautiful goal by Hamilton, really fine goal. Well, we've seen some heading in this match. Starts with Beattie's cross, makes some space for himself, hits a hard cross, and that was a very deliberate header by Hamilton from a difficult angle, high up in the corner. Thompson, Callaghan. Cormac and Keegan confusing each other then, now Highway. No penalty. 3 times Liverpool have been denied, and now they are persuading Mr. Baldwin to go and consult the linesman. He's given the penalty, so the 3rd time Liverpool's appeal is successful. Hammond, who's had a tormented afternoon trying to cope with Steve Highway. Mr. Baldwin, meanwhile, restoring a bit of order in the penalty area. Best bewildered. The linesman may well have seen something that I didn't see, but I would have thought that that was the least meritorious of the 3 claims that Liverpool have had. But Kevin Keegan on a hat-trick here. Woof! Kevin Keegan's 3rd goal of the game makes Ipswich safe, 4-2 in front. 2.5 minutes over the top, and there are 2 ways of taking penalties, and this is the power one.
Can an early setback upset Liverpool?
Givens on his chest and round Neil. Chip inside for Eastoe. We're 1-0. Beautifully made. Very simple. The first time that Don Givens has effectively been in the game. His chest takes him round Neil. The cross was perfection, and the header from Eastoe was simplicity itself. Keegan with a bit of space. Callaghan going on, thought about the shot, looked instead for Highway. Running at Clement, finding room for the cross, but Clement got back and blocked it for a corner. Steve Highway will take it. Edge of the picture there was Joey Jones, but Highway goes for the one into the middle, and Keegan jumps, and it's in or out. Just a fingertip by Phil Parks. I thought he'd pushed it against the inside netting, but somehow it was smuggled away. Highway's corner, an enormous jump from Kevin Keegan, and in the end, just fingertips by Parks. So the excitement mounts again. Aimed towards Clement, but headed down by Jones to Highway. Inside to Kennedy. Kennedy on the left foot this time. Can Toshak turn? He got it back from McDermott. Toshak following it in. And Neil back on the post. Toshak! pressure there eventually reduced the Rangers' defence. And finally, when it came out to Neil and his shot came back off the post, it was Toshak who applied the finishing touch. Kennedy. Toshak through the middle. Keegan and McDermott going to join him. But Highway now. Allowed to go on by the referee, playing the advantage. And here's McDermott. And the shot has hit the post! But what a good illustration of how to play the advantage law. Highway undoubtedly fouled there. He retained possession. The referee let him go. And when it came to McDermott, the good application of the advantage law came within an inch or so of a goal. Out to Jones. Good work at finding themselves a way onto the attack again once more by Liverpool. And obstruction on Keegan, which will give Liverpool a free kick just about on the edge of the penalty area. 1-1 with 8 minutes to go. The tension beginning to show on both sides. And you can feel it a bit around the edges too. Lofted over towards Kennedy's head and nodded out for another corner. It's the 12th Liverpool corner. Thompson up there with Kennedy. McDermott taking it. And the header came through from Thompson to McDermott but was cleared. Hughes down to Callaghan. McDermott out on the right. This is Neil. Keegan under this with Hollins. Thompson tried to take it on his chest for the shot, but Masson got in. Keegan. And the referee is going to book somebody. And it is a booking for Eddie Kelly or for Masson. No, for Masson. That may have been for complaining, it may have been for ungentlemanly conduct. He may have called to try to put somebody off when that ball was in the air. I wonder what little plot was being cooked up there. Callaghan will attempt to put it into execution and very nearly succeeded. Keegan does! Callaghan nodded back across goal and lashed in by Kevin Keegan for his 8th goal of the season. So Don Masson paid a very heavy price for whatever the offence was there that got him booked. Queen's Park Rangers now, having been 1-0 in front, are 2-1 behind and 6 minutes left. Cremens. Queen's Park Rangers have only ever beaten Liverpool once in a league game. They played them 8 times. Liverpool have won 6 and drawn 1 of them. Johnson. Kennedy chasing through and put out for a corner by Kelly. Highway, placing the ball for the corner. Callaghan is the player with him. Who else? Callaghan's clever little chip across, Keegan's jump, and that's number 3 from Ray Kennedy. Christmas has come early there. Perfectly simple. The corner rolled by Highway to Callaghan. Callaghan, one of the kind of crosses that he's been knocking over for years. The nod down by Keegan and finished off by Ray Kennedy, his 4th goal of the season.
We've seen the end of that deadly duo, Toshak and Keegan, as we enter the season 78-79. But enter Kenny Dalglish on the field. Off the field, Bill Shankly steps aside for Bob Paisley, who carries on the work.
Case. Miss-hit, but it's found Dalglish, and he turns and scores! I suspect that was miss-hit by Jimmy Case, but it couldn't have been miss-hit to a better player than Kenny Dalglish. Brilliant on the turn, round Perryman and in under Danes. 10 minutes gone, 1-0 to Liverpool, and Dalglish has got his 5th goal of the season. Naylor. Duncan, Taylor, Villiers, and Duncan waiting for the cross. Ray Kennedy's tackle, but Villiers retains possession. Hoddle. Duncan goes up with Hughes. Pull back for Ardiles, over. Ardiles leaning back, reaching for the shot a bit, and unable to keep it down. Case. McDermott. Several times so far, Liverpool have tried these hard, low crosses into the box. No profit from them yet, but they can be very difficult to deal with. McDermott put in by Highway. And the chest down by Perryman dropped nicely for Dalglish, and now Kennedy. And Souness, can he turn on it? Pulled it back for Case. Dalglish! His shot was miss-hit, but it came nicely to Dalglish, and he deflected it past Dane's Case. Dalglish. Souness and Dalglish again. Johnson. Just not quite hard enough. McDermott. Kennedy at the far post, and in it goes. Not sure who's claiming that. I think it may have been an own goal. Off Lacey. Kennedy getting the congratulations of his teammates. But the 3rd goal it is. Kennedy up well. And bingo number 3. 3-0 before the half hour, and Liverpool so dominant going forward. It seems really to be simply a question of how many they'll score, but they do look a little bit fragile themselves at the back occasionally. There's a high foot there and an indirect free kick for Tottenham Hotspur. Everybody back. Clemens is a bit worried about whether he can get a clear view of this. Hoddle standing over the ball. He rolls it for Taylor. And now Lacey. Blocked by Souness. Off the line by Ray Kennedy. And the danger passes. Lacey's shot. Blocked by Souness. Then Clemens got a hand to it. And Ray Kennedy completed the clearance. His man as he played the pass one way, Duncan went the other. Here's Johnson to Alan Kennedy. Dalglish running left, Johnson in the middle. Alan Kennedy going for goal. Shot saved by Danes with his legs, but there of him. And it got easier rather than harder the nearer goal he got. In the end, it needed some heroics from Danes to keep him out. Hoddle, harassed by Dalglish. And Duncan's header comfortably picked out by Clements. Duncan had to lean in for the header and couldn't get a great deal of power for it. Dalglish with a lot of room now, and he's beaten Perryman, and can he get the hat-trick on the stroke of half-time? Sets it up for Kennedy, and it looked like number 4. Every time Liverpool go forward, it seems as though there's a goal in the making. Case to Souness and back. Johnson on for McDermott. Ray Kennedy in the middle, the ball with Dalglish, and now Johnson, Souness, Dalglish did well to turn on the shot. Johnson, 4-0. Well, the defence just fell apart again. Dalglish did well to turn on the shot. Danes have been pulled out of goal, managed to block it, but credit to Johnson for the efficiency of his finishing when the ball came out to him from 10 yards, like an arrow along the ground. Dermott to Souness, Dalglish, Souness beautifully on his chest, and then a good shot, fisted away by Danes when it looked all over a goal. Souness, such skill there, beautifully taken on his chest, and the mark of the class player, the deliberation with which he picked off the shot and really tested Danes. Peter Taylor with just Villa to support him at the moment, and Case robbed him as clean as a whistle. And now he's Dalglish put away by Ray Kennedy. Dalglish for Johnson, number 5. Whenever Liverpool go through the middle there, just slipped through to David Johnson, and his second goal of the game seemed to go between Danes' legs. McDermott. Non-existent now, and Spurs apparently completely demoralised. McNabb. And here's Duncan with Kennedy, with Clements coming right out and handling the ball 10 yards outside his area. By Villa to Lacey, and Lacey just wastes it with a chip across. Taylor tries to bang it back in. Taylor gets another chance, and Clement says thank you very much. Highway to Souness. Chip in for Alan Kennedy. Gets a second chance and pulls it across for Johnson. Off the line brilliantly by Duncan, as Johnson was already celebrating his hat-trick. Brilliant clearance by Duncan. Now Highway. Can he get in on the scoring act? Penalty! And Duncan, having just saved Spurs a goal, looks now as though he's given away the 6th by bringing down Highway. Phil Neal, who is a deadly customer from the spot, stepping up to see if he can make it 6. it's to be then. And it's saved by Danes, and Dalglish can't meet the parry. But the referee is going to have it taken again. The referee has judged that Danes moved before the ball was struck. So it's to be Neil given a second chance. And Alan Kennedy turns his back on the incident and sneaks a look over his shoulder. Danes now on his line, knows that he must keep still. Will Neil put it in the same place again? No, he doesn't. So that now is 6-0, and this is becoming a rout. Ray Kennedy to Dalglish. Johnson. And Johnson, the ball into acres of empty space for Highway. And Highway, a brilliant crossback. McDermott it was who finished it. And what a classic goal. Tottenham in remnants.
Oh, well, Liverpool played the game the way it should be played. Simple. They made themselves available when they had the ball. It was the easiest thing in the world to find them with each other with passes. That's what the game's all about.
Shanks had a simple philosophy about the game, and that victory was a tribute to him.
Souness and a big gap opening ahead of him. Case here to his right. Souness time to take it on his chest and shoot. But what a good save from Middleton. George. Ray Kennedy. Souness to Alan Kennedy. Dalglish. Fouled by Moreland. Souness. And Phil Thompson is there. Alan Kennedy is there. Phil Thompson. And put out for a corner by McCaffrey. Two of the back four up, causing problems in the Derby 6-yard area. Thompson almost got it at the first attempt. It went to Alan Kennedy. He couldn't quite control it. It came back to Thompson, and he couldn't turn it in either. 21 players in the last third of the field to our right. Highway with the corner. Thompson jumping. Middleton's catch. Packed penalty area, but the ball found its way through to Phil Thompson. The header up into the angle, caught by Middleton. Carter. Former Notts County winger. In for Clark. Thompson. Ray Kennedy. Souness. And it's very much one-way traffic. And it does seem largely to be a matter of when Liverpool will score the inevitable opening goal. Case to try the cross again. And succeeding well. Highway over the goalkeeper's hands and just past the post. Disappointment for Steve Highway. Credit for Jimmy Case, who got round Powell, crossed well, and Highway's header was well judged, but just missed the far post. The referee didn't give a foul, but Souness gave a look. Neil. Intercepted by Buckley. Ray Kennedy. Dalglish. Johnson, possibilities here. Souness. Defence closed. Liverpool must try another way. Highway. Souness, Dalglish, Johnson. It was really a question of which of them was going to put it in the end. When the ball was played in from the right, Souness first, then Dalglish, finally Johnson, and he felt really that any one of the three of them might have scored. Neil, Case. Neil meant for Dalglish, but it was a bad ball. There's nobody there for Derby. Case again. This time the long diagonal ball towards Ray Kennedy's head. So simple. Derby fast asleep. Jimmy Case looked up, saw Kennedy on the move, dropped it to perfection on his head, and Middleton was left in no man's land. Daly. Kasky. Clark. Buckley to Powell. Kennedy. Daly looking in vain to the referee as Johnson breaks. Flick into the middle where Dalglish is all alone. Goalkeeper coming out. Highway, can he score? Can Johnson score? They've taken an awful lot of time. They've still got possession. Highway under deflection, and Middleton is relieved to see the ball in his hands. Clearance only goes as far as Neil, and once Liverpool start to move forward, it really is like the tide coming in. Souness. Daly, the Derby player, number 4. Highway. Johnson! Hooked out by Langham! Johnson so close. Good work there by Langham. Good work also by Highway, angling in the cross. Johnson got a foot to it, half smothered by the goalkeeper, and just hooked away at the last inch by Langham. George. Daly chasing, but not able to get there before Hansen. Thompson. By Johnson. Dalglish has got round his man now. Little chip. That was one that had Kenny Dalglish written all over it. Once Dalglish had got the wrong side of McCaffrey, there was only one ending in view then. Middleton spread himself, Dalglish waited, toe end over the top, 3-0. Ray Kennedy. Dalglish got the wrong side of Morland, but Morland recovered to concede the corner. Dalglish, when he darts around in the box, can so quickly get the wrong side of the defender. Corner played back to Alan Kennedy. And Phil Thompson. Little chip back. Header by McCaffrey. It's only come out to Souness. His shot was blocked. This is Highway. Dalglish calling for it. And in on it fast. 4-0, Ray Kennedy. Well, there was so much at 6s and 7s there. it was once again just a matter of who would add the final touch. And it was Ray Kennedy coming in for his second goal of the game. Clark. Langan. Highway. Johnson, beautiful ball, and a great break by Hansen. Will he score? He set it up for Dalglish. 5-0. What a marvellous goal. What a beautiful goal.
And the scorer of two and the makers of two others there was, of course, the emerging leader of Liverpool in the 80s, Kenny Dalglish.